Afternoon, brothers. The Zeta Psi Awards Committee, on which I serve, created a major award in 2007, which was named the Carey Leadership Award. It was awarded first to the person after whom the award was named, Admiral James J. Carey, Omega 60, who was Phi Alpha number 124 from 1995 to our 150th anniversary convention in 1997. It was because of his extraordinary talents for leadership in so many of the organizations that have meant so much to Jim over the years, including Zeta Psi, of course, that this award was created by the Zeta Psi Awards Committee and presented to Jim as its first recipient. Unfortunately, Jim could not be with us. He lives in Alexandria, Virginia, but because of the health problems that have persisted with his wife Arlene over many years, he is a full-time caregiver for her and sends his best wishes to all here at this international convention. I believe there are some Zates here that have received it, although I wasn't provided with a list ahead of time. I think Corey Nicholson is one of them, but there may be others. If you are a Carey Award recipient in the past, could you please stand and be recognized? Jim Youngland, Doug Donaldson, Jay Rothberg, John Spahn, and Corey Nicholson. Congratulations, brothers. This year's recipient has been a good friend of mine since I first met him when he was an undergraduate in the 1970s. As I was still in the early stages of my 25-year career as Zeta Psi's executive director. He went on to become the Phi of his chapter and distinguished himself to the point where I asked him to join me on the staff of the International Fraternity Headquarters, which at that time was a rented office in New York City. He stayed on my staff for a few years and became my right-hand man as Director of Chapter Services before he left the Zeta Psi staff to begin a career in the financial field as a retail investment stockbroker. He worked in the DC area and still does to this day. He quickly developed a successful career in that sector and became one of the industry's premier financial advisors and managers. As he has offered personal and professional financial management services to hundreds of Zates, including my wife and me, as well as many others who benefit from his financial counsel through his team at Morgan Stanley. Early in his career, he continued to offer his volunteer service time in terms of programming. So he and a fellow Zate from his own chapter developed essentially what had become and still evolves as the Leadership Institute when that first came to be in the 1980 convention, the first one we held in New Orleans. Because of his work with his own chapter as an elder leader, plus all of the body of work on behalf of the international fraternity, he was asked to join the Zeta Psi board in 1991 and quickly rose through the ranks to become the secretary, the vice president, and in the year 2000, he was elected Zeta Psi's Phi Alpha number 127, serving 2 years in that office. Today's Carey Award recipient was the first to serve as a Phi Alpha from his chapter at the University of Maryland, one of Zeta Psi's strongest chapters in recent years, and the host for this year's, one of the main hosts, as you will, for this year's annual convention. Two of his most proudest moments as a Zate and a charter brother of the Phi Epsilon chapter was when he participated in the initiations of his two sons, Stephen and Adam, an event I also experienced myself when my only son was initiated as a Zate. He has continued to maintain active involvement in both the international fraternity and his own chapter for over 4 decades. And many of you witnessed the kind of style and effort and dedication he has in promoting, first developing and then promoting the Zate for Life program, which he discussed earlier this morning. He has maintained a very close friendship with me and many others in this room since we have all worked with him over the years. He remains to this day the person who can be counted on to serve Zeta Psi at the highest levels of excellence. He has many more years of service to devote to our order, but for now, on this day, we unite to again offer praise to this saint who has provided exemplary service to this, our international and intercontinental order. So I am honored to present Zeta Psi's Carey Leadership Award to a Zeta I have shared many of my own experiences with over the past 4 decades, and it will remain a good friend of mine for the rest of my life. Michael J. Freiman, Phi Epsilon.
Greg, thank you for that lovely presentation. Brothers, I appreciate this more than you know. I know Jim Carey very well, obviously. He's a hero of mine, and all of you are heroes of mine. Every time I'm at a Zeta Psi function like this, it's a rush function for me. It's like I'm pledging again. And that's why it's so easy for me to talk about Zeta for Life and things like that, because I truly believe in it. And I appreciate the love and appreciation that you all are sharing with me. This means a lot. Thank you very much. All of us are Zetas for Life. Let's continue that pledge. Thank you.